I mean, audience watching us is probably will be curious to know whether they got sucker or not.
Yeah.
What are some of the signs that you, as a practitioner, when someone comes up to you and these are the signs that you notice? Do you have a checklist for us?
Somebody falling off, like they dream of falling off of a high place very often. Sometimes they dream of getting spiritual items like krays, stones, bangles, or like even tongkat. When they receive it, that's when they will actually get it. Some of the other few will be like get sick very often, and some of the sickness are actually being covered up. In a sense where I actually have this one client, she didn't know she got cancer. She went to the doctor. She went to the doctor, and then once she got spiritual help, she went to the doctor I think a week after. She found out she actually had stage 4 cancer, and it's been happening for very long. She's been very ill, and a few months later she actually passed away.
Is there anyone here? What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.
This whole contract with the sucker that you mentioned, a contract means you get something in return, I want something. So if I'm going to give you your beauty, your protection, wealth, what does the jinn want in return?
Oh, the old times they would actually give some form of offerings. But because the reason why they get ill now, those people, because they don't continue these things, like offerings. Like, so basically, quite common, they will give like black chicken. Black chicken, blood, flowers, incense, like frankincense. Yeah, quite common.
But black chicken to us Chinese people quite healthy, no?
Yeah,
for tonic. So the jinn also want something healthy,
Yeah, apparently lah. But then it's more towards the sin side, because in Islam it's actually like I said, they feed on sin. So when you actually give offerings, that's when you actually commit sin. They don't actually eat whatever you give them. They actually eat from like the sin that you create.
The simple act that you are giving offering to a jinn is already un-Islamic, and therefore you have committed a sin, right? Because you should not be giving offerings and your devotion to a lesser being like a jinn.
Yes.
So you can black chicken because maybe it's cool, the black color is cool, but you can pretty much give any offering anywhere, work the same way.
Yes.
In that sense, right?
Yeah, but there are other requirements as well, like some certain things like I remember like people when we put susuk. So those are like technically there is saka also in that.
Well, since you mentioned susuk, susuk is also another very, very common spells that people even back then used, because I spoke to someone whose grandfather was actually I think Bomo is not the right word. There's a name for it, like a holy man. A wali, is it? I don't know what they call it lah. But like a shaman in the village. And he said that when he was growing up, he saw people like Pirangli coming to the house to put needles in. And is that still very common now? Like you get a lot of susuk requests?
No.
To either take out or put in.
So far I have not. Personally, I've always wanted to try to actually remove, but not put, because I don't find. I do for like people who say like, oh, I want to beautify myself. Say you just read something simple from the Quran. No, you read something that has something to do with light. So I'll give a specific verse for them to read, and then they will read from it. That's my suso actually. I don't actually have any other things like needles, because you're actually putting foreign objects into your body, and it's quite it's actually also wrong in Islam to actually harm your body a certain way.
But you know, human nature, right? We are greedy. We want quick results. When you go with the white way, you're just boosting up like a 30% increase. But that may not be good or fast enough for people who want result like that. So they go and like, I want to insert here, I want to say that, I want to get the guy straight away.
I don't do that. I will just tell them straight. I don't do that, because I do have, like previously I do have requests for people who say like, my husband ran away with another woman, I need to ask him to call me back. Say, I'm not this one, I'm so sorry, I'm not going to help you. If you want it to be fast, right, that's probably almost, I can say 80% they actually use jinn if it comes the next day, because they need something to attract what. If you leave it all to God, because there's a specific verse that God say like, in the Quran that it says that you won't go where if it's yours lah, basically.
Now, since we're talking about susuk, the next natural progression to susuk would be nasi kangkang. And You know, I think of all the Malay magic that we have heard, Nasi Kang is probably the one that people are still talking about today. You go to the Nasi Lemak shop in Changi, why does Nasi Lemak so good? We still are the Nasi Kang.
Yeah, we all know that
this
story.
guy, this girl, alamak, the girl so pretty, the guy so ugly, or vice versa.
Yeah.
What happened? Must be Nasi Kang.
Nasi Kang, yeah.
What's your thought on that?
Personally, I have not done any spiritual like help for people with Nasi Kang. But there were instances where they used to for the husband. Yeah, so there were times where they actually used like some form of blood. When we don't actually see the physical blood, but there were times where we can actually have like a vision that they actually use some form of blood to actually attract the husband to come.
So Dinesh, how do we do it? How do I Nasi Kang someone?
That you have to learn the mantra. There's a specific mantra that you need to use. Basically, it needs to be very hot, steaming rice. So you have to wrap yourself from like this part.
From the chest down?
Yeah, from the chest
like
down.
the sarung?
Okay. Yeah, something like sarung also you can. So basically, you just have to squat. So basically, the steam from the rice will actually go up to the private area. And it will actually drip down to the rice. So that's something that's unsanitary and unclean. That's when you start to read, and then the spirit, you start to invoke the spirit, and it will start to.
So the key there is a mantra to chant.
Yes.
So it's not that you'll just squat over a steaming pot of rice, it's for Nasi Kang.
Then it won't work.
That might give people diarrhea, but you're not going to get a guy to come to you. So there must be a mantra.
Yes, there is.
I don't expect you to read the mantra on camera, but do you know the mantra?
Oh no, I don't. I don't learn that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
I wish I did.
so what are some of the more interesting cases that you have seen after your ordination?
Nothing interesting. I feel like most of the things are quite similar. More to like family disputes, and then they start sending more to black magic. Basically, for me, I have the same principle as my dad. I have to come to the house. So basically, because we need to see whether the area that you live in has any entity or like things that's been put inside the house. So there are times where I actually need to do an exorcism. So basically, I need to call the spirit to come into the body and speak to the spirit. This is the very common route that I take.
Okay.
Yeah, so there will be verses of the Quran that's being made, and then it would just come out naturally.
And the spirit will go into your client's body.
No. The person's body.
The person
Who's sick.
Oh, who is sick? Okay.
Yeah.
And then the spirit will speak to you like words.
Yeah, with words. And then from there we will start saying, you want to go out? Right?
And that doesn't frighten you at all.
No.
Okay, just give me an example. I'm trying to wrap my head around this, right? So you come to the house, you see a sick person there who's been touched by black magic, right? And then you will see the entity, and then you go like summon it in.
Yeah.
And the person will sit up.
He's really seated up.
Seated up. And how would that conversation or face off be?
I'll just say Assalamualaikum. So basically just greeting him. So if they greet back, or sometimes they don't greet back, and then they start to growl. Some of them start to cry. Some of them will get angry, start cursing at me. There were instances where actually there were like vulgarities being said to me. I was just like, okay lah, then you just listen to what I have to say lah. Then I was just start chanting, just start reciting the Quran, and then that's when they start to feel the heat, you know. Yeah, that's where we start to fight lah.
It's just you reciting Quran and they will growl. Would they get physical with you?
Oh, there are times where I got a scratch before because this lady actually came to our house. They were one of the paranormal activity people. I'm so sorry, but
do I know? I think I might know the person.
I don't know. I have to check
The
my
industry quite
phone.
small, right? Okay.
Yes.
Later on you tell me who.
Yeah. So and basically it was quite aggressive lah. So they came to us for spiritual help because they feel like there was someone from the workplace.
Oh.
Yeah, that actually sent something, and true enough, it was someone from there. And then he wasn't happy that we start to find out. Scratch.
And it could have gotten worse then. A scratch is just considered very mild.
Yeah.
Are they able to do physical harm to you? Beyond a scratch?
Yeah, they can slap you if they want to. They can do anything.
Strangle, take a knife, right?
Yeah, they can. But usually we will have like certain things that we read from the Quran that will actually lock the hands and the legs.
Okay.
So they can physically not, like, they cannot physically move from there.
So some of the old movies I saw that you have to press the big toe.
Quite common.
Is that something you do as well, and why is that?
My father does it, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. So because they find pressure points. So if the human body actually feels the pain, they can actually feel it too. Because they are already in a physical body.
Yes.
The bodies act as a vessel. So if it's chipped, right, you cannot really, example like a vase, it has a crack. If you feel water, it's gonna come out.
Okay, so my understanding now is that you, all along I thought you press the toe because maybe that's some form of symbolism that through the toe the spirit comes in and out. But what I understand is actually a pressure point. I could have done it here, I could have done it anywhere else, right? It's just if I cause the physical body pain without killing the human, the spirit inside taking over would feel the pain as well.
Yes. But just little we don't do it excessively because then my patient will be back home with bruises all over their body and then they start to do a lawsuit.
Lawsuit. Speaking of that, aren't you afraid of that? Like, you know, when we hear the Catholic Church, why they stop doing exorcism is people that they help come back and sue them in return.
Yeah.
Isn't that something that you'll be, you know, at risk as well?
Not really. I don't think so because I don't think. So sorry, but I don't think they have the time to do it. Yeah. And someone nowadays, I think there's more. I think the court. I feel like the court won't take it seriously because last time they need like permission from the Pope, from the Vatican, whether they can actually do certain things like this, right? So for us, we don't really. We don't need it. So I don't think there's any like clearance needed lah.
So you look very calm and almost at home with talking about possession cases. Have you seen a lot?
Many.
How many? Give us a ballpark figure here.
I really cannot remember. That's how many I've done.
You know, for those of you watching, one possession case like, oh my god, someone's possessed. This fella is like, yeah, no, it's a Tuesday afternoon. Another possession case. Let me go down.
There are times where I actually have to do that. So basically, I actually worked night shift, but I had to go somewhere like roughly 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Because apparently this lady called me because the helper got into a possession. So it was something that was critical.
Okay.
So we needed to run down there quick to help them. So basically it's the same thing what you said, I have to go down.
I mean, it's kind of our obligation as spiritual practitioners, right?
Yes.
Call for help, you cannot say, I mean, I guess you could say no, but it's just not in line with the teachings that you have been taught.
Yes.
Have there been any case where you encounter it's above your pay grade, like you have to, okay, hold on, let me call my father here?
So far, not that I know of. So far, but usually we will have each other's backs. So if he knows that I'm going for like a spiritual cleansing at someone's house, I'll just tell him. So he will just be there to guide me from somewhere far. You know, he'll be like chanting for me, praying for me. So it's nice sometimes to have someone at your back.
Is there any case that you will not take?
Love.
Oh, the loved one.
The loved one.
Yeah.
It's quite common. People come to me and say, "No, I'm so sorry." And I feel like it's too, because they keep coming back at you and they keep saying, "My husband not back yet." Like, can you wait? Can you please wait? Like I told you, I don't use jinn. This one all something that because I will have to wake up at night. I have to pray and ask for God. And I have to read like scriptures from the Quran, and I have to sit down with their photo. And I say, okay, if you think that it's for them, God, I say, put them together lah. If not, you just separate them because it's not something that I can. Oh, you need to put them together. I won't say that because what if the relationship is actually not for them?
Not God's will. You're trying to go against it.
Yeah. So if you really put them back together, and it's gonna cause more harm. That person can be like suicidal, can be something else. Depression. That's not something I want for my clients. You have to look at the bigger picture. Yeah.
Now there's the other thing that I've learned called Makmun. Makmun? I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's when you are praying and there are spirits around you that join you because they cannot pray to Allah, but they are joining you in prayer because they benefit from that.
Okay.
I watched Indonesia.
Yes.
It's a movie on that. Of course, in the movie they made it really scary and all that. But since you're a person with the ability to see spirits, and when you pray, do you see other spirits joining you?
Not when I pray, because usually I told you the good spirits, like those Islam ones, right? They don't actually disturb you. But there are times where you actually can feel that they are behind you praying. So there are times where you pray, you can actually hear someone saying like Amin together with you, or you can hear like you can see somebody really bowing beside you. This is something more of like they are actually praying with you. You are acting as like the imam basically. So those are basically good spirits. Those the ones that you see on the movie, right? Those are actually fake.
Yeah.
So those that they say like, oh, there's actually dark spirits that actually full. They are unable to. It's 100%, because you are literally, when you are praying, you're actually going straight to God. You're actually communicating with Him, but it's just that He doesn't reply. He replies in some other ways. So they I don't think they can actually handle that communication that we have. So that's why those, like, they see like, oh, it's a kakak behind really bowing together. That's actually not true.
Not true.
Yeah, it's actually not true.
Okay, so you're praying. Please just feel free to continue praying. All good spirits around you. 100%. Yeah. Now, one of the other things I know about Islam is that there are supposed to be only 7 wali in the world at any one point of time. Is that familiar to you? That wisdom?
No. But I do have like certain wali that I really revere. Some other the ones that my dad were, if I'm not wrong, is I forgot, he's Sheikh Abdul Qadir Al-Jalani or something like that.
Okay.
So basically, he's one of those like spiritual people as well. So that's why he goes to him. Not goes to him, like he revere him as someone special. So what wali actually means is, wali is actually friend. If you actually search
Friend.
Yeah, so when you say wali Allah, means actually friend of God. So basically, they are basically close to God. So they are not prophets. They don't do. They can do miracles, but it's during their lifetime, like their lifespan. So right after that, usually people ask for karama. So basically, it's something that you want. Malay we call it misbah. So basically, just like a little bit here and there of their like blessings. So basically, there's this thing called tawasul. Is when you don't pray to them, because there's misconception when people actually go to a makam or like Raden Mas Ayush is actually one of the wali. So when you actually go to there, they say, oh, you're actually praying to the wali. That's not true. We go there to offer prayers to her. So we have to read the Yasin, you have to read the Quran, and because we revere these people as someone who are special.
Yeah.
But the 7 wali thing, I'm not really too sure about it.
I think it's the same like the Buddhists, right? You have the Buddha who has gone through enlightenment and ascended.
Yes.
And he just tells you guys, here's my 10-year series, how I have done it. You guys should practice, right? But at the same time, humans being humans, we look at all these ascended masters as almost godlike.
Yes.
And then can you help me get 4D, help you pass exam?
Yeah.
But it's the same thing, like the walis or the ascended masters, they don't come down and grant you wishes.
Yep.
It's almost like, because they are closer to God,
Yes.
you're kind of like, hey, can you put in a good word for me, right?
Yeah. But those people who actually go to the wali, like, you can use their name. So basically, there are times where people will just say, oh, there are different kind of tawassuls basically. So when you go up to them and you tell them like, oh, I put this $2 at your place. Make sure like you give me more money or something like that. This is some of the tawassuls that you can actually use. Or the other ones is like using names. So basically, I just want to be someone like Radin Mas who like respects their dad and stuff like that. So you get the blessings from there. It has nothing to do when people come and ask for 4D and all. They don't actually do that. They don't do it. More of like blessings.
Yeah.
They don't grant wishes actually. Like we don't even ask them like, I want to pass my test. You help me a bit. I want to. No, they don't do that. They don't do that. Yeah.
Now, some of the controversial issues people have mentioned to me is that Makam Radin Mas, where it is right now, that is not the actual tomb.
Yeah.
That's just the actual area where Radin Mas was buried is somewhere
Behind.
Is that right?
Yeah, I know. I've heard the story, but I've not yet like checked, because the space that I was in really was very filled with energy.
Yeah.
Very, very positive energy. So when you are there, you can't really actually know whether it's there.
Mm.
But your prayers that you offer to her definitely will straight will go to her. Yeah, you can't run because you have her name there already, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even if the tomb was a bit further, the prayer still. Yeah.
There are other makams around Singapore, maybe even Kramat, right? Or maybe not. Makam is quite a big word, right?
Yes,
Makam is like a mausoleum
Yep.
shrine. So Kramat is like a smaller shrine.
Yep.
Like Siglap has Tok Lasam, has the
Tok Lasam,
Kubo,
yes.
then
Kubo
Palmer Road, the one on the hilltop.
Habib no.
Habib Nor.
Habib Noor.
Have you gone to places like this?
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love going to these kind of places. I'd rather go to these kind of places than like those like shopping mall. I find more interest, to
Yeah.
be honest, because I feel like I just love the tranquility of the areas. But there are times where I do feel like people do commit sins at these kind of places, especially the ones at Kubo Qasim.
Okay.
There's this Wali Allah that they will actually burn like a secret for them and stuff like that. I feel like this is something that is not being taught in the in the Islamic teachings. So I would just clear it off.
So there is a Wali's Kramat in the
Kubo
Kubo
Qasim. There's
Qasim.
many actually.
Many there.
There's if I'm not wrong, there's a few.
Can you give me some historical background about Kubo Qasim? Why it's such a hot spot amongst both in the white practice and the black practice? Why there of all places?
So places like at the cemetery, right? They actually have negative and positive energies. So they need this both energy to help them, because like every single black magic that you do, or like certain like magic that you do, you actually need both. Especially those black ones, right? They actually need permission from God. Also, they think like, oh, it's the jinn. Let me know. If God doesn't want this to happen, it won't happen. Yeah. So basically, some places like this, right? There are like walis. They are like basically, it's a center of attraction for people to come to do good and to do bad. Yeah. So it's like a common ground, I would say. So I've seen people like ask for 40 numbers there. I've seen people like, I've seen certain objects that are being placed there, and then sometimes they would just take it away, like necklaces with like pendants. They would just hang it there. Then the next time I come, it's gone already.
Do you see that a good entity interacting with you? Not at all.
No. Basically, a lot like spiritual. When I do spiritual healing, so there are times where I prefer them not to come to my house. I say you need to clear the space and you need to clear the person. So there are times where they actually will try to follow you back home. So there are times where when I was going towards the kitchen, there was something at the window, or you will see something near a tree. Like basically, I used to have this tree. It's called Kananga tree. I opened the door once. I actually saw someone sitting there. It was quite a while back, and I was actually being transferred to my grandma's house.
What do they want?
Sometimes they just want to do harm. Some of them just want to find a home. Yeah. So I just, if it's near my house plan, or I just let them be. I feel like they don't disturb me. But if I feel like there's a certain form of energy that's charging towards me, that's when I will start to remove it, because they will actually bring harm.
Well, let's try to break this down into urban legend versus what is the real understanding of Pontianak in this case. When you talk about Pontianak, I think it's almost like a Singapore or Asian culture even, right? The Pontianak is that lady with long black hair, white gown. Right? And some people say that if you hear the quack quack sound, that's her. And if the quack sound is far away, means she's near. Near means she's far away. And then there's also the smell. Can you verify, confirm, or debunk any of these myths?
It's actually quite common for people to say that, but like there are other sounds that they can actually make, like dog barking, frogs, right? Those toads. Yeah, they can actually do those kind of sounds as well. It's just an indicator. It's not really it has to be a quack. So Pontianak only can do quack sounds. it's not true. It's not true. They are basically they can they are shapeshifters as well. So they can change to whatever form they want to. And that myth about like the smell, whether it's far or near, or whether the sound is actually not true.
Not true.
There are times where there are like Pontianaks inside the house, spirits living inside the house, and you don't actually smell anything. But it's in the house already, what? Yeah. So why will you tell me when I'm at somewhere like this Keramat or like somewhere like the cemetery, then you tell me the quack very far away already? Why? Inside your house already so many.
Okay, so the next question is then how do I know if a Pontianak is following me and how do I prevent it? Like, do I carry a nail? Do I...
That's a very common misconception that people have. It's quite common for pregnant ladies. They say last time to bring a nail, or some of them they say the horseshoe crab. You know the tail?
Yes.
They actually keep it with them. Scissors and stuff like that is quite common. It's just because last time they don't actually have they don't learn Islam. It's not strong during their time. Yeah, so they have to carry these kind of objects, but it will be categorized under shirk, something that's been you basically have to, how do I say it? You have to actually believe that the thing is protecting you instead of God. So that's what shirk is.
Okay. So that's for Pontianak. Let's go to the next common item, pocong.
Okay.
The urban myth is that if you see a pocong and you can undo the knot on the pocong's shroud, the pocong will give you a wish.
Yes.
It works,
No. If not, I would have been a billionaire.
You see pocong many times,
There are times I see, but most of them are being done for magic, black magic.
Okay.
Like, so there are times where you can actually, when they get possessed, they will start hopping, or they will just lie down at a specific spot, in a certain way. Then you know that okay, this is one of them. Right?
Oh, what's a pocong? I mean, pocong is just a person who died in a burial shroud, right? Why? What's the significance of a person buried in a shroud that can come back and hop around?
That's why there's no significance. There's no significance. They just basically it's basically because it's tight.
Yeah.
Because it's tight. So what they want to do is they want to restrict the movements of these like people. So when they do black magic, right, this person won't go far. So example like for love, then they use pocong.
So if I want to bind you, I will use the pocong energy to bind.
Correct.
So I make you cannot walk, career cannot grow, money cannot get.
Yeah, because everything's tight, ma. The reason why the so-called the myth of the pocong start is because they say when they bury a person, they never untie.
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to untie it when they go inside the grave. Yeah. So because it's tight, you can actually use, it's called ilmu isyarat. So basic isyarat is something like you do something because there's a meaning to it. So because it's all tight, that's when they use this kind of meaning.
I think my understanding of the spiritual world is a lot of it is symbolism.
Yes.
Right? Using something and the energy of that symbol, in this case the shroud is a binding thing, to cast that spell on someone else.
Yeah.
Toyol?
Toyol lah.
Is that still a common thing to steal things? No more.
No more already. But there are times where people say that they lose their money. I say maybe your wallet got hole lah. Yeah, but so far I've not come across a house with a Toyol. But there are they say like from what I learned from my father, that they say like old people will actually have to, at 12 midnight you have to throw green bean, take the rotan, go naked.
Is it? Tell me about that. You got me interested. Go naked. So yeah, green bean, rota, naked. Tell me the whole thing. How do I summon a Toyol?
So basically you just need to throw the green beans at your house. Basically just a few. Or you can just take a bunch and just throw it on the floor. You wait for 12 midnight. So what they say is they will actually come into the house and start to play because they cannot count more than 10. So they can only, if I'm not wrong, more than 10.
So you got to take more than 10 green beans lah?
Yeah, just throw.
Okay.
So when they start playing with it, right, you have to strip naked. That's when you can actually see them. Yeah, but you must off all the lights and everything.
Okay.
So the rotan that you have, you actually have to like imbue some form of blessing onto it. So basically you can read the Quran recitation. Some people have the mantra there, I don't know that one.
Okay.
And basically what you're going to do is you're going to beat the crap out of it. Once you see it, you're going to beat the crap out of the Toyol.
And that's how you make it obey you?
No, you just because you just want to like make him obedient.
Oh, so that's how you detect whether you got Toyol at home or not?
You see
whether someone's sending it to you lah.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, you all try. Okay, let me know in the comment below.
But it's not something that I recommend to do because now there are much simpler ways to do things like recitation and some other chanting, like sprinkling of like some water that's been blessed. These are the common things that can protect so they won't enter anymore. Have a positive mindset because the mind actually plays an important role in your body. Basically, you can actually harm yourself with just your mind.
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.